next one. Lil Heathen versus the Gamer, man, and the Gamer came to play, man. 65-second win. Mateusz Gamrot. Now you got to learn how to pronounce the name once they get the big win, right? You can't be disrespected, man. Listen, he said, I'm going to use the legendary name of Jeremy Stephens to propel my career, and he did absolutely that, man. It's almost nothing to talk about because we didn't even see a fight. We saw him grab the leg, put him on his butt, grab a Kimura, game over. That was basically it. My question to you, AJ. First, I asked you in the pre-show, is Mateusz Gamrot sending Jeremy Stephens into retirement? Is he going to be cut from the UFC after this fight? And I have to say, double down, absolutely. Because that wasn't just a loss. You got destroyed in 65 seconds. You didn't land one punch. That's the big takeaway. Jeremy Stephens landed 0 strikes in this fight. Mateusz Gamrot landed 1. And he was able to submit him in 65 seconds. Just give me your takeaway for this fight, man.
Yeah, man, I have to agree with you, Derek. I'm doubling down, man. I do think this is the end of Little Heathen, sad as it is to say. I hope not, but I do think it is, man. 5 L's and almost 6 because of the no contest against Ortega Rodriguez. Back to back. Dude, it's rough, man. It's rough to see that happen to a great fighter like Stephens. And what the bbig takeaway from me is in the face-offs, right when they were going, you saw Mateusz Gamrot a little jumpy, a little jittery when Little Heathen was walking up, and then he finally calmed down and asked him, "Are you ready?" And little Jeremy Stephens says, "Oh man, I was born ready." But real calm, just keeps his hands behind his back, real calm. Didn't really think anything of it. But apparently he was not ready at all for getting his damn near shoulder ripped out of his socket because it was impressive. Both fighters came out super fast, but that was a very slick Kimura by Gamrot, and that's kind of how it goes, man. We did see Stephens try to kick out, but when you're that dry in the ring, that quick of a fight, he didn't even work, man. He literally kicked out, and Mateusz Gamrot literally still held his ankle, followed him to the ground, got a slick Kimura. It was impressive. There was about a split second, maybe 10 seconds where Lil Heathen was also working for a Kimura, and even the announcers were asking, or they were saying it like, "Oh, he's gonna get a Kimura. He's got to step over," and then sure enough, you saw Mateusz Gamrot step over, rip his own Kimura. It was impressive, bro. It was cool to watch, and definitely skyrocketed Mateusz, up to some big categories next. We're gonna see where he's going, but I got a little pick that I think is gonna be a fun one coming up.
All right, and yeah, we'll get to that one in just a couple of minutes, man. But I will say this: that was the most impressive part to me, is that Stephens had his own Kimura, and Gamrot said, "Nah, I'm gonna be the one finishing you with the Kimura." He also didn't. I didn't get a picture of it. There was no picture of it, but this is another case of the Jordan Levitt versus I don't remember who he fought, but where his face was all in the booty, you know what I mean? Booty to the face, right? Mm-hmm. This was literally that again. And I do need to mention this. Jakar Close had a little bit of salt to mention. He was all like, "Listen, man, you're so savage and all of that good stuff, you know what I mean? How does it feel that the only fight that you won in the last 3 years was in the weigh-ins against a dude with his hands behind his back?" And he's insinuating when, he got the push on Jakar Close. Not only that, he also put up another tweet saying like, "Yo, look, like Mr. Savage, whatever the case, how does that smell?" Indicating when Stephens' face was all in the booty of Mateusz Gamrot, man. I will say that Gamrot, he mentioned, I believe it was right in the post-fight presser, like right immediately in that interview, that is his best position to be in, that he finishes everybody in that same position, and that once he got there, his coaches were just like, this is your spot, man. This is your position. Relax, go to work. And he was like, 10 seconds later, boom, Kimura, done, right? I loved the man's confidence. I loved how hyped he was. I loved how he was sitting there like with Paul Felder, like, "Oh, what's up?" Like, let's rock. Let's not forget, this is a man in Paul Felder who is now retired, who is now just the interview guy, right? Triathlon, the Iron Lung, shout out to the Irish Dragon, one of my favorite fighters. But I will say, this is a man who was in the top, 10 of the lightweight division like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, right? So, Gamrot was probably looking up, being like, "Ooh, this is a dude I would like to fight," right? Even Islam Makhachev, right, when he was talking. So it's so interesting to me because they both kind of sizing each other up, you know what I mean? Paul Felder's like, "I ain't trying to get beat up, bro." It's the nice guy now. He's the nice Irish Dragon now, the Iron Lung, right? But huge win for Mateusz Gamrot, and like you said, we'll talk about some matchmaking in just one moment.